To create a web archive element, you'll begin by clicking the Import a Web Archive link. Now here you've got several options when it comes to creating web archives. Certainly you'll start with giving it a title, but you can choose to either upload web content that you've created in some fashion, or you can choose to enter a web address of existing web content that you want to bring into your course through the web archive element. Either way, if you want to upload content, you'd simply browse your computer to upload a zip file that contains that web content, or you could choose enter an external URL, and here you would type in the web address of what page it is you're attempting to reference. Now I've created two examples here for us to look at. This first example is one where I have created some web content and I've uploaded it. In this case I used an older version of PowerPoint, version 2007. Actually, any version prior to 2010 allows you to save a PowerPoint as a web page, and you have the ability to upload that content as a web page, either hosted on your own site or even hosted through DigitalChalk through a web archive element. You'll also notice here that I can launch this content in a new window, and that option is actually required if you're incorporating a PowerPoint presentation much like I have here. With that, you can set a display size for the window. And when you've uploaded that material, if we preview it here, this will give you an idea of what that content would look like for the student. So here I've created a series of slides that the student could click through at their own pace. My next example is where I am going to reference a web address of existing content that already exists on the internet. And in this case, I'm going to take us to the DigitalChalk demonstration page, and I'm going to launch it within the confines of the DigitalChalk web archive. So here, I'm hosted on an external site. I've got my web address that I've entered. So now if I preview this web archive, you'll get a sense of what this form that we have on our web page to schedule your demonstration. Perhaps you used this form when you scheduled your initial demonstration to speak with a product specialist. So here the student could actually fill out this form right here within the confines of your web archive. Another great example of this would be if you use a survey through a third-party survey tool like SurveyMonkey or Google Forms or something to that effect. Those objects work really well inside of web archive elements.